implementation for the week. Incorporate your values, getting them into your bones. If needed, take some extra time filling in your values, make it real for yourself, and make your values visible and felt. So that sheet, if you can print it out, writing your values in there, and then maybe in pencil. So as you look at that, you can feel the essences of that. And actually, because of that, something might shift in terms of another awareness, in terms of what a core value that you'll never compromise is, or enabling value, or an influencing value. I found the exercise in doing this and preparing this presentation for the kids, it's been very helpful for me to have that awareness and that kind of that groundedness with values internally with myself. So I encourage you along in the same respect. Okay, so let's look at this a little different angle, I think you might appreciate. So our mind is to keep the values in our heart. And those values, if our heart and our mind, again, are aligned, then our body can feel the energetics of that again, which can allow for the energy we need to play our part with others. But the attitudes of, say, thankfulness, appreciation, patience, those are receptive values that open us up to the pathway from above, from what's true of us. So the true identity of ourselves, you could say, is beyond our conscious mind, but it's there all the time, the being that we are. But we need to position our hearts to be receptive. Receptive values open up that pathway for us to begin to feel, you can say, the essence of ourselves in our heart. And when we do that, then it comes down into our heart, down into our minds. It works inside of our bodies, and then it gets out into the world. And you can say what's true of us is looking to express outward. We're not here to look to figure out who we are. We're here to let who we are express fluidly, flowingly through us, through this mechanism. You can say this is the operating design of our innate human capacities. And when that design is in place, then what is true of you is looking to express outward. And for our true mental well-being, our mind is to keep a receptive heart. As simple as that. I gave a presentation at a junior high school, and I came down to one simple thing for the kids. And that was, your mind has one primary responsibility, and that's to keep your heart. Your mind is the guardian of our heart. Our mind is to keep the values fixed in our heart, those receptive values. And when that happens, then we feel the alignment of that. And there's actually a cadence with it, which is called heart rate variability, in terms of what we find out science-wise, that we're going to be looking at more in our next session, of actually how do we position our hearts with the proper rhythms that allows for us, you can say, for thankfulness, appreciation, patience, or other receptive values to be held in our heart. So that'll be the next step. But just for here, outlining for tonight, for today, for what mental well-being is. True mental well-being is when our mind is keeping a receptive heart. So our next session, essentials for emotional well-being, which will get more into heart rate variability and more about how do we keep our heart in a proper way. So concluding thoughts, what commitment will you make this week to enhance your state of mental well-being, or you can say our overall well-being? So let's consider that for ourselves. Like, what commitment do you think you need to make this week for an enhanced sense of mental well-being? And you can say as well as your overall well-being. So let's conclude on that comment. If you want to reflect on that for a moment, maybe write it down.